The UK's late Queen Elizabeth II was not told for almost 10 years that her long-time art advisor was a Soviet spy. This was revealed in secret files of the MI5 that were released for the first time on Tuesday. The files provide new details about Britain's most notorious double agents, Kim Philby and Anthony Blunt, who were part of the notorious Cambridge 5 spy ring. Blunt, a surveyor of the Queen's pictures and a member of the royal household, had confessed to being a Soviet double agent in April 1964. But security services closely guarded the news, and the Queen was only informed in 1973. Some of these files are part of a special exhibition at the National Archives titled MI5 Official Secrets. This features case files, photographs, papers and equipment used by spies in the agency's 115-year history. Philby and Blunt were, along with Guy Burgess, Donald MacLean and John Cairncross, part of the Ring of Five. They were former Cambridge University students who passed information to the Soviets from the 1930s for almost 2 decades. Among the papers is an incomplete 6-page confession from 1963 of Philby, in which he finally admits his deception after years of suspicion. Philby was seen as the Cambridge Five's ringleader, and he became a senior figure in Britain's foreign spy agency MI6.
Kim Philby was one of the most notorious of the Cambridge spy ring. He had worked for MI6 since around, I think it's 1940, and he had passed so many secrets over to the Soviet Union.
Documents recount how he met with a man called Otto in 1934 at the behest of his wife, who was a Communist Party member. Philby fled to Moscow shortly after his confession. In 2010, he was honoured with a plaque at the headquarters of the Foreign Intelligence Service in Moscow.
Included in this release is the confession file for Kim Philby. Now, he handed over a confession statement to an officer of the Secret Intelligence Service, and it is an incomplete statement, but he does talk about when he's first recruited by somebody known as Otto, who is really Arnold Deutsch. In 1934, he's recruited for the Soviet Union.
In the files relating to Blunt, there's a transcript of the 1964 interview conducted by MI5 officer Arthur Martin, in which he finally confessed in exchange for immunity from prosecution. At that time, he was the late Queen Elizabeth's advisor on art, a role he maintained until 1972, with his involvement in the ring only publicly revealed in 1979. A note from March 1973 said the Queen's private secretary had spoken to the monarch about Blunt. It said that she took it all very calmly and without surprise.
We now have, for the first time, documentary evidence to show that the Queen was indeed told about the Blunt case. And this comes in, again, in one of the files where it said that the Queen's private secretary had spoken to her, told her about the Blunt case. This is in 1973. And the file shows that the Queen reacted calmly and without surprise. She said that she'd had some inkling of it.